Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Elder Scrolls Lore. Today we're going to be talking about, could the Empire reclaim Valenwood? Now Valenwood is the home of the Bosmer, or the Wood Elves, and they, like nearly all of Tamriel, were under the Third Empire by the start of the Fourth Era. There were those who believed that the province could return to the glory if they recreated the Aldmeri Dominion. So they broke off from the Empire and invited Aldmeri agents in. A coup was orchestrated, and despite fierce resistance from Bosmeri Imperial allies, the Legion was unable to withstand the surprise coup. Once Valenwood was lost, the Penitus Oculatus altered their focus for resistance groups to hide in plain sight. Now in this video we will analyze whether or not the Empire could reclaim the province of Valenwood. As the events of Elder Scrolls V, both the Legion and the Thalmor are strictly guarding their border, and we will cover the range of variables that will or could play a role in the Imperial success or Thalmor victory. So to begin with, we have the relationship between the Altmer and the Bosmer. Now unlike the first and second Aldmeri Dominion, the council that governs the Dominion is predominantly Altmer, meaning that there is mostly virtual representation. Think of the American colonies under Britain for this instance. There were American elected officials in America, but none in Parliament. There was a virtual representation because Parliament was supposed to represent England and all of its colonies. Ones in India, the Indies, etc. Caribbean. The few Bosmer that are in the council are the ones that helped orchestrate the coup, so they are focused on the success of the Aldmeri Dominion, not the province of Valenwood itself. Following the Aldmeri coup, the province was virtually split in two, the northeastern half favoring the Empire and the southwestern favoring the Dominion. After the coup and before the Great War, Imperial supporters were hunted and killed. This practice continued after the war as well, and this would be the case for Malborn, who helps you infiltrate the Thalmor embassy, whose family was slaughtered by the Thalmor. In 397 of the Third Era, the Altmer invaded Valenwood and took control of the several islands off the coast of the mainland. These became the staging point for the War of the Blue Divide, which was initiated in 39 of the Fourth Era, and that's when the Dominion invaded Valenwood and took over. Gotta turn the page, sorry. Now, this witch hunt would definitely cause Dominion resentment for many neutral supporters and even possibly Dominion supporters. When a foreign power is squeezing its grip on a region, it often becomes destabilized. If you're quickly crushing something, trying to push something out or quell rebellions, you're only creating martyrs. And if you create martyrs, you're going to create sympathy for your cause. And when this keeps happening, because the Dominion keeps pressuring and squeezing the life out of Imperial supporters in Valenwood, you're going to think that the Dominion isn't maybe as good as they think Dominion supporters would like to believe. So this would cause resentment. And this resentment would obviously grow if you keep watching friends and loved ones, and even maybe you're possibly yourself, be purged because they think you're an Imperial supporter. Now, Imperial strength in present day is stronger than the Dominion's. As for the leadership, that's a bit unknown because we don't know about the Dominion's leadership yet, except for the Council. And as for the Empire, it is unknown whether or not that if this was going to happen, that Titus Mede II would be alive. However, the military leaders would still be there. You had all the Great War veterans and leaders alike. You have General Decinius, General Jonah, Legate Cassia, who was the Forgotten Hero's right hand, the Forgotten Hero themselves, assuming that they would come out of anonymity. I was practicing that so I didn't mess that up. But there's always one a video. I feel like there's always one mess up like that. Now, those leaders would help take the Empire and manage to lead them militarily. Those were great leaders who managed to get the experience through the Great War and found many successes throughout the war. Now, the Empire could also benefit from potential allies. Now, they can extend an offer of joint invasion of Valenwood to Hammerfell, and the two nations invading one area or the two invading on two fronts. The Dominion would be forced to split its armies and navy. Combine that with the small or medium support of the Bosmer, and the Empire could have an easy victory there. Now, assume the Stormcloaks win the Civil War in Skyrim. Now you'd say, oh, but the Stormcloaks would never aid the Empire. However, just hear me out, let this go through, I have that later. Now, the Empire extends them an offer to have the Stormcloaks invade the Somerset Isles and the Empire invade Valenwood. The possibilities are endless. Opening two fronts in either scenario would weaken the Dominion and defense on the border. Now, I'll get to the counter arguments later on in the video. Give me a second. Lastly, there is the strength of the Dominion. No matter if you're the Dominion supporter or an Imperial supporter, we can all agree that the Dominion rules with an iron fist. This is good and bad. It's good because a region can be easily controlled and maintained and governed. However, when a governing body continues to tighten its grip on a region, resentment is often created. Many Altmer find themselves put to death due to Thalmor control. Those who do not support their ways are killed. An example of this would be Legate Fassendil, an Altmer legate who witnessed Thalmor mages slaughter Altmer dissidents who escaped the Somerset Isles, and they were killed he witnessed them killed during the Night of Green Fire in Hammerfell. Putting all this together, it would seem that even though the Dominion seems shiny and stable on the outside, it is beginning to rot on the inside. This is often referred to as a Gilded Age, when everything seems good and fantastic, well maintained on the outside, but it's rotting on the inside. It's what America was going through in the late 1800s and early 1900s. Now, there's Thalmor dissent in both Valenwood and the Somerset Isles. The eruption of an imperial invasion will most likely cause these resistance groups to rise up, and a re-strengthened empire could take the province by opening up two fronts, either on its own or having the allies. The Imperial Navy could open up a front past Thalmor border fortifications to force gap, and would force gaps to be formed on the border because those groups, they'd have to send reinforcements to go aid that new opened up front, or Hammerfell or the Stormcloaks could invade. Now, to those who would say a Stormcloak, Skyrim, or Hammerfell would never turn to the Empire and for help, or they would never help them. But the enemy of my enemy is my friend, and I believe that the chance to take the fight to the Thalmor would be too great of an offer to turn down for either nation who have suffered greatly because of the Thalmor. Hammerfell fought a way longer war during the Great War with the Thalmor, and their lands heavily suffered from that. Crown of Forbear, I believe the possibility to take the fight to the Thalmor would be too good to turn down, even though the Empire may have, and I use air quotes on this, turn their back on them. They're still willing to help. They're willing to have a joint invasion to take the fight to them. I believe that would be too much to turn down. Even with the Stormcloaks of Skyrim, yes, the Stormcloaks hate the Empire, but you express the Stormcloaks often express, especially Ulfric, of invading the Somerset Isles if they win the Great War. And this is coming from someone who is an Imperial supporter, that if the Stormcloaks are to invade the Somerset Isles and the Empire comes to them and says, hey, if you invade the Somerset Isles, we will invade Valenwood. I believe this is too good of an opportunity to turn down despite your differences, because if Valenwood is invaded by the Empire, that means less troops will be focused on the Somerset Isles. However, vice versa, if the Somerset Isles are invaded, there's less support on Valenwood because they're going to defend their homeland. Either way, I believe that the Aldmeri Dominion in this scenario would not be able to withstand the might of possibly three nations coming together to attack, because all three of them have a heavy dislike for the Dominion, and B, they all have reasons for wanting to take the fight to them. And so I believe that at this point in time, 201 of the Fourth Era, the Empire could definitely win the Great War, and the province of the Second Great War, that is, and the province of Valenwood could be retaken by the Empire. And that is my belief. If you have any comments below, let me know if you have any differences in opinion. If you believe the Empire is too weak to do that, they don't have the leadership for that, please let me know in the comments below. I want to know your guys' opinions. I want to know what you guys think. Do you agree or disagree with me? Obviously, most of this is all of this is speculation I've gotten. So, I mean, I want to know your guys' thoughts below. If you have any, other topics you'd like me to cover like this, please let me know in the comments as well. As always, please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.